nice. Hello dreamers, welcome to this episode. We are still in New York City. Yeah, this has been a very interesting short trip, but way interesting.
Yes.
And this is my friend Jenny Wilcox, who I connected with in Tacoma, but she actually lives in Nashville. This girl's from Nashville, Tennessee. So she's got a dream that she had while we were here in New York, and she's going to share it. This is an interesting one, so let's see what she's got to say. What do you think, Jenny?
Well, Melody, I was walking down the street of New York, and I came upon the river, and I saw a person sitting there on the edge of the river. It's like they were a victim of something that had happened.
Wow.
And they had a blanket wrapped around them as if like a first responder had rescued them and put that around them. And all I know is that they had just swam the Hudson River, across the river.
Was it male or female?
It was a female, and it was Marjorie.
Her name, the person's name was Marjorie. Now Marjorie actually means pearl, so this is very interesting. So she had swam across the Hudson River to the western bank of New York City, and the first responders, the paramedics, whoever, helped her in and wrapped her up.
It was as if they had. I don't know for sure because when I came upon her, she had the blanket wrapped around her already.
Okay, all right. Interesting. Well, victim gives us some really interesting insight there. And after doing a little bit of research before we got together here for this interview, I found out that the Hudson River actually originates from the, let's see, it's called the Lake Tier of the Cloud, which is actually the highest pond in New York State.
Oh.
I know, kind of interesting. So she's a victim, and it comes from Lake Tier.
Yes.
So, and wasn't the Hudson where the plane went down?
Oh, you're
Scully,
right. I think it was.
wasn't that the captain's name?
Yes.
So I'm wondering if we're even getting a little bit of a 411 here about the, let's say, trauma on the land. And so there can also be trauma, remains of trauma in the water and on the bottom of the river. Does that make sense?
It does make sense.
So there were some victims there. Are you getting anything else?
Not right away, no.
Okay, so that, and even it being originated from the Lake Tier, that's so strange. I didn't even know that
Place existed.
lake was up there.
Yeah, I didn't know that.
So I wonder if it's just a picture, a metaphoric picture of the way society deals with and has been victimized by the trauma. And this would be not just, of course, the plane going down in the Hudson, but many traumas on the land.
Right.
Because, you know, when blood is spilt on the land, we know that it affects the land, and it brings trauma and causes woundings for the land. And Marjorie, Marjorie does mean pearl. Did I mention that?
You did.
Yeah. So pearl would be sort of like, we have heard the saying, pearl of great price. But I wonder if to Creator, Marjorie represents the part of society that is victimized by the woundings of and the trauma of the land.
Right.
Because we are affected by that.
Right.
So I'm wondering if New York City has victims who actually live in the city and on the land, and they're affected by all of the memory of the trauma which is in all of the land, even on the sidewalks and in the river and all of that.
Then the pearl is formed by
In water.
the form is by a wound.
Wow.
you know, when
Right,
the
the
sand gets
pressurized-
in there. And it
Oh,
is,
yeah.
it's irritant. It's
Oh,
an
yeah.
irritant.
There you
And they're
go.
just, that's how over the time it's processed. And it's actually a covering on that wound.
Wow. And you can't cover up a wound, or typically, if you're just going to patch it up, it doesn't ever heal
Right,
because it needs to be exposed to air, to
Right.
oxygen,
right.
right, for it to heal.
It
Interesting.
needs to come to the light. Right, that makes
Wow,
sense.
interesting. That is a good dream.
Yeah. I
Well,
did
I
think it
think-
meant that.
right,
You know
and
when
I-
you have it.
Right, and when I walk down the streets of New York, I mean, there are so many, 8 million people on this island. I love looking into the eyes of the people.
Mhm.
But you know, there's a lot of wounding,
There is.
and I know that's everywhere, but just because we're in New York talking
We've
about
been here
and
and
we've
experienced
been
these
out-
people.
right, feet on the
Yes.
ground and
Yes.
connected. We got to talk to some really cool people
We did.
yesterday and
We
just
did.
kind of love on them.
Right, we did. And I think that's what it's going to take. It's love. It's love.
That's healing, right?
It is. That is the healing for everything, you know, and it's meeting people where they are, you know, on the edge of a river with a blanket wrapped around them. Somebody, they need rescuing.
Embracing them. And that's what Creator does with us, right? He embraces us in that place where we're cold, we're exposed, we're wounded,
Right.
and we're exhausted.
Yes.
Can you imagine swimming? Think of that plane going down and having to swim across the Hudson
You're
River. Oh,
already
God,
traumatized,
No
but yet now
kidding.
you have to survive on top of that.
And you know what? I think that's the way society is. We sometimes are in survival mode. We don't
Right.
get anywhere
We're
past
treading
that.
water and we see nothing to grab.
Mm. Boy,
Nothing to
that's
grab
good.
on.
No,
Yes.
no life jacket.
Right. No,
Right?
yes. Right. And we don't know that there's a rescuer. We
Mm.
don't know that there's a rescuer, but there is.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
And he's so full of love.
He is so full of love.
Wow.
Yeah. I think
I
he's
was
got
just-
a lot more blankets than people realize.
No kidding. I
think
was
he
just
does.
thinking of some of the people we saw on the streets yesterday. Can you think of a couple of those examples where we talked to a lot of people?
I do remember the woman that we met on the corner who had just lost her job.
Oh, yeah.
And
Wasn't she sweet?
She was so sweet. She wasn't expecting love when we stopped. She was expecting us to be rude and want her to get out of the way.
Right.
But we stopped.
Right.
And we just loved on her a bit, and we just, you know, kind of declared her future for her.
It
We
was so much
declared
fun.
what was already there and just showed her what was available
Right,
for
and
her.
she was super excited to see us. Like, wow, somebody's acknowledged me,
Yes.
seen me.
She was seen.
Right,
She wasn't invisible.
right.
She wasn't invisible.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we let her know she was valuable and that she was loved. Yeah. So we're pulling out all the jewels and all the pearls in people.
That's true. Yes, because there's pearls.
Which
in
every human is
there.
a gem to Creator,
Yeah, they are. They
right?
are. Yeah.
And they have His DNA in them, which makes them so valuable.
It's an amazing city.
I'm telling you. Jenny, this has been so much fun. I can't tell you how much fun I've had just hanging with you this weekend.
It's been so fun and
We-
life-changing, really.
And
It
crazy.
really has.
Ain't just crazy.
And just crazy.
Oh my gosh. You guys, I just want to give you a little spoiler alert here. Jenny looks very copacetic and benign sitting in this chair, but she is a one-liner expert. And all we do is roll on the floor because she's popping out, I don't know how it happens, she's popping out these one-liners, and we spend all of our time laughing around her. And she's a bit of a smart aleck.
A bit.
Just a bit.
Just a bit.
She's my kind of gal. Thanks for being here. I love you.
Oh, love you too. Can't wait to talk some more.
Let's do it. Next time you have a dream.
I will.
Thanks
We'll
so
be in touch.
much. Appreciate it. Thanks for joining us for this episode.